I lost weight the moment I started a plant-based diet, but there was one food that I noticed when I introduced it at certain times. My weight loss was faster than ever before. In fact, this food was so effective for weight loss for me personally that the moment I reached my goal weight, I actually had to stop eating it so I didn't lose any more weight. And even to this day, if I introduce this food to my diet on a regular basis, inside a week, I will notice myself leaning down. I kid you not. What is it? The humble potato. Often misunderstood because of its high carb content, I cannot recommend potatoes enough actually as a key carb source. You see, both white and sweet potato are surprisingly low in calories, coming in at roughly 90 calories or so per 100 grams. And if your nutrition knowledge isn't particularly advanced or you don't really have a reference point for what that means, is that a good thing then, Ryan? Let me put it like this. This very, very large, I must say, sweet potato will give you about 300 calories, which bang for buck, most of you, I don't know if you got context for the size of this thing, most of you at home watching this, you could not finish this. Without anything else in your meal, you could not even finish this because potato is so filling for only 300 calories. And even though I love my other healthy carb sources like brown rice, rolled oats, quinoa, potato actually has a lower calorie density, and white potato in particular ranks higher than whole grains on the satiety index, which is a scale for measuring how full certain foods make you. The amount of fullness and satisfaction you get per calorie of potato makes it a really superior carbohydrate source. So if you're not losing weight right now, or if you're desperate to lose even more weight right now and you're not eating potatoes, you're a loony. Get on it. Step number 2, you mostly want to pick fresh fruits over dried fruits. For example, this single medjool date contains the same amount of calories as this 200-gram pile of strawberries. Can you believe it? And this 2 tablespoon serving of raisins contains the same amount of calories as 100 grams of raspberries. It's a pretty decent difference, as you can see, in terms of the volume to calorie ratio. You get where I'm going with this, but humor me one more time. Dried mango, 30 grams of dried mango, same amount of calories as 1 large Granny Smith apple. Now, this isn't to say you can never eat dried fruit again. I still do. But if you want to make it as easy for yourself as possible to stay in a calorie deficit, you definitely can't eat dried fruit as generously as you can fresh. Step 3, eat a giant salad daily alongside your dinner to help you stay full and satisfied and help prevent you from turning to treats later on in the evening. This one, for example, is a mix of sweet gem lettuce. We have some red bell pepper in here. What else? Rocket and arugula, and somewhere we've got some of these are amazing, plum. Tomatoes, cucumber as well, bit of cuke in there, and just a very basic low-fat, oil-free vinaigrette dressing, like the kind that I shared with you in my video at the start of the year. And not only do I enjoy these, not only are they a good source of nutrients, but primarily I notice that I have far less desire to eat late at night when I have one of these alongside dinner. And of course, like everything I've shared here, it's not a guarantee that you will lose weight. You could have one of these giant salads alongside your dinner every single day. It's not a guarantee that you will lose weight if you're making a plethora, of course, of other mistakes in your diet. But this is a good hack, I find, to make it easier to stay in a calorie deficit. Step 4, I've given you lots of individual food tips already, but what should the rest of your diet look like? It should primarily be made up of high fiber whole foods that have an incredible intersection between calorie content and satiation effect. In other words, they make you feel really full for very few calories, unlike high calorie density foods, which might well provide you with some satisfaction, but the trade-off is that they contain loads of calories to get that satisfaction. So examples of foods that have a low to moderate calorie density and give great satisfaction because of their high fiber content: whole grains such as brown rice and oats, beans and lentils, fresh fruits, and vegetables. High fiber but high calorie foods like nuts, seeds, nut butters, dried fruit like we discussed earlier on, these are still perfectly healthy, good source of nutrients, but they do not give very much volume for the amount of calories they contain. And finally, step 5, if you want to lose weight quickly, regardless of which particular nutrition approach you follow, all eating needs to be intentional. Meaning, ideally, you never really want to catch yourself mindlessly grazing or snacking on something when you're bored, you're stressed, you feel like you deserve a reward or a treat, a pick-me-up after a hard day. In other words, your decision to eat food needs to be mindful and it needs to be purposeful. Again, this is all very idealistic, but I'm trying to give you a framework to aim for in terms of your food decisions. You always want to be coming from this place of genuine awareness. You want to be asking yourselves things like, I've just had dinner. Do I really need dessert right now? Is that actually necessary? Am I still genuinely hungry? Or am I just used to a sweet treat after dinner because that's what I've done historically? I know you always watch your movies with some popcorn or with another snack, but does your body actually need those calories, and those nutrients at this time? Another example, yes, it's 3 p.m, there's a bit of a lull in your day, a little bit of a decompression, but is food really the solution to that problem? Instead, you should only be eating when you're actually hungry. Like I say, this is a touch idealistic, but you should only be eating when it's been a few hours, at least, since your last meal. You can feel your appetite increasing, which is a very tangible bodily feeling, by the way. You've got the growling of the stomach, the hunger pangs, maybe a bit of lethargy, fatigue, irritability. That's a big sign for me. I start getting a bit snappy and irritable when I'm hungry. These are all signs that I'm genuinely physically hungry. The awareness that you can develop around these things is going to make it so much easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit and lose weight efficiently. And that's it. Those are my 5 steps to lose weight fast on a plant-based diet. It's worth saying here though, fast weight loss shouldn't always be the objective. We want safe, we want sustainable, we want permanent lifestyle and behavioral changes, and that doesn't always overlap with fast weight loss. These are really, really good, by the way, which feels so wrong to say because it's the wrong time of year for berries. But it also depends what we mean by fast here, right? Fast weight loss for you might be different to fast weight loss for me, our interpretation and so on. Generally, I do agree with that sort of commonly advised 1 to 2 pound per week ballpark. That does seem to play out nicely for most people. As always, click the link in the description box down below to go to my online store, learn more about my coaching, my programs, my other resources there. We'll speak soon. Take care. Happy birthday to